is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Abigail Lukwadi, and this is Africa Now. 3 Chinese nationals who were kidnapped in Mali by unknown gunmen on July 17th have been rescued by security forces after they escaped their captors on the weekend, according to the Malian army. The Chinese nationals were abducted along with 2 Mauritanians from a construction site near the town of Kuala. The Mauritanians were freed 10 days later. The army in a statement says the hostages said to be in reasonable health and had managed to break free on Sunday and were located the following day in a joint operations involving ground and air forces. The United Nations Special Envoy says national and international mediation efforts are underway to solve Sudan's political crisis in coming days and restore constitutional reign. Sudan's ousted Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok, during a meeting with ambassadors of the United States, Britain and Norway at his home where he's under house arrest, has called for the reinstatement of his government dissolved in a military coup, saying it could pave a way to solution in the country. Politicians involved in mediation efforts say the main compromise on that discussion is a proposal for Hamdok to be given full executive powers and appoint a cabinet of technocrats. Authorities of Ethiopia's capital city, Addis Ababa, have called on residents to register weapons in the next 2 days after rebellious forces from the northern region of Tigray say they are planning to invade the city, state media reports. The call comes after Tigrayan forces took control of the cities of Dessie and Kombolcha in the neighboring region of Amhara. The Tigrayan forces have been fighting the government for the past year in a wielding war that first pitted federal troops against the Tigray People's Liberation Front, which dominated Ethiopian politics for nearly 30 years before Abiy Ahmed was appointed Prime Minister in 2018. Vote counting for South Africa's municipal elections is in progress. The polls were seen as the country's ruling African National Congress stifles local polls that are facing discontent over poor services and stark inequality 27 years after ending white minority rule. Of the few ballots counted as at 6:15 GMT on Tuesday, the ANC had around 46% of votes cast. The local elections are critical for President Cyril Ramaphosa and his party that hopes to win back metropolitan areas it lost to opposition-led coalitions in 2016. Now, countries among the most vulnerable to the impacts of global warming have urged the world's richest nations to live up to their financial commitments to fight climate change as the United Nations COP26 climate talks got underway in Glasgow, Scotland. According to Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Africa is suffering the worst consequences from this phenomenon, economically, socially, and politically, despite the fact that they are not responsible for the world's climate crisis. El-Sisi on Monday says that developed countries must fulfill their long-standing pledges to provide $100 billion per year to developing countries to face climate change. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You are watching Africa Now. More stories coming your way after the break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. At least 6 people have died and up to 100 people are missing in Nigeria's commercial capital of Lagos after the collapse of a 21-story building that was under construction, the State Emergency Services Chief says on Tuesday. State official Olufemi Oke Tolu says a search and rescue effort had been launched for survivors of the Monday's incident. 4 people were rescued alive and 3 more treated for minor injuries at the scene, he says. The United Nations has accused the Democratic Republic of Congo's army of beating up a human rights activist protesting illegal taxes in the war-torn east of the country to death. Corporal Yombo, the leader of a civil society group in Humbo Town, was killed by soldiers operating on the alleged orders of local administrative officials, the UN Joint Human Rights Office says on Twitter. A local human rights group, Partnership for Integrated Protection, says Yombo was tortured on Friday and died of his injuries at a hospital in the city of Bukavu on Sunday. Zimbabwe's health ministry says the approved use I beg your pardon, Zimbabwe's health ministry has approved the use of China's Sinovac Biotech COVID-19 vaccine for 16 and 17-year-olds, it says on Monday, adding that the country aimed to achieve herd immunity by the end of December. The ministry in a statement says that it had taken the decision after a recommendation from specialist pediatricians and was still considering whether to vaccinate younger children. The health ministry says Zimbabwe's 38% of the targeted population had been vaccinated by the end of October. The country has recorded 132,926 cases of COVID-19 and 4,675 deaths overall. Now moving on to Kenya. President Uhuru Kenyatta on Monday says his country, as part of its commitment to Pan-Africanism, will leverage its position as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council to advance peace, stability and inclusive growth in Africa. Kenyatta says that Kenya has been deeply involved in preventive diplomacy, peacekeeping, conflict resolution, and post-conflict reconstruction across Africa. He made this known at the 12th AU high-level retreat on the promotion of peace, security, and stability attended by senior government officials, including diplomats and former African leaders. Still in Kenya, agricultural experts have declared Kenya free of desert locusts, at least for now, after 2 waves of the insects hit the country, starting in November 2019. The pest reappeared after a 70-year absence. Colin Micheni, Director of Plant Protection and Food Safety at the Ministry of Agriculture, attributed the eradication to both climate effects, especially the direction of wind, and interventions from the ministry and its partner agencies. And that is it on Africa Now. For more updates, do visit our website at www.TOS TVNetwork.com. Do follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube to stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network. I am Abigail Ukwade. Thanks for watching.